Oi, ya bloody legends. Welcome back to the show. This year's BrOpen is looking like a real ripper, mate. We're heading back to Victoria Country Club. Dead set. It's the third time these fairways have seen the carnage. And let me tell you, it's going to be fair dinkum drama. 14 teams, a record, all rocking up to chase glory, knock back some Victoria bitters, and maybe give us something to cheer about other than the footy or the cricket. But first, I've got to bend your ear about our sponsor. And no, it's not Ripper GC or Cam Smith, even though he's a bloody legend. It's Clubhousen, the #1 social golf app. So put your feet up and pay attention, you bunch of fairway bandits. Righto, mates, do you want to walk onto the first tee with your own personalised walk-up music? Something that screams, I'm the next Cam Smith, but without a mullet and a preference for shit American beers? Then you got to get Clubhousen. It's packed with features for you, like player intros that'll make you feel like you've just strolled into a packed MCG on grand final day, a feed of all your mates' recent rounds on GHEN, so you can talk a bit of smack about who's knocked it stiff and who's purely rubbish, loads of betting features, including the new market's bet type. Bet on not only who wins outright, but who shoots low gross, who bags the most birdies, or even which clown chalks up the most double bogey's. It's basically punting heaven for us golf tragics. Fair dinkum. If you're not on Clubhousen, you might as well be bowling underarm in a cricket match. Grab the app, get your mates on board, and tee up some next-level banter. Right, let's crack on. The BrOpen 2025 is shaking things up with a new format. Day 1 is a 4-man scramble, and Day 2 goes back to the two-man pairings. Not only that, each player's got to contribute 4 minimum drives in the scramble. No free rides, you hear? If you spray it like a dodgy backyard sprinkler, your mates can't bail you out for all 18 holes. We're back at Victoria Country Club in Victoria, Texas. Yeah, I know, not the Aussie Victoria, but you can still smash a few cold VBs for moral support. The last 2 times we were here, we ended in playoffs. Dead set. That's more tense than watching a tight Ashes test at the MCG. So, we've got 14 teams, the biggest bunch of knuckle draggers we've ever seen. Half of them think they're the second coming of Cam Smith, and the other half probably couldn't sink a putt if you threatened them with a footy to the face, but that's the beauty of the BrOpen, innit? Now, about that 4 drives minimum rule, this will sort the fair dinkum big hitters from the ones who only reckon they can bomb it. If you can't carry your weight, your mates will probably roast you harder than a sausage at a Bunnings Snag fundraiser. The next bit of juicy gossip is the talk about handicaps. The Stiff Shafts finished runner-up last year, losing to Los Borrachos in a playoff, and copped a pounding from folks screaming about sandbagging. But check this, Clubhousen unleashed their sandbagger index, and the competition committee used that to trim some of these sneaky buggers by a whopping 5+ shots. If that doesn't keep things honest, I don't know what will. So, if you used to pencil in a triple bogey for show, then conveniently shave a few strokes for dough, you might be in strife this year, mate. No more free passes like some dodgy free kick in the footy. Let's talk old blokes. Some of these fellas have been around longer than me, footy boots. Paul Cohen, the 2021 champ, is apparently so creaky now that his backswing sounds like an old Holden that won't start. Does he have anything left, or is he a relic like your uncle's VHS tapes of Merv Hughes' best wickets? It's a toss-up. Maybe experience gives him an edge, or maybe Father Times pinned him down for the count. After Day 2, there's a par 3 contest under lights. The question is, will anyone be standing by then? 2 days of smashing drives, copping sunburns, and guzzling a few VBs might leave the field more cooked than a sausage on Australia Day. But hey, if you've got the ticker, you'll soldier on. Might need a sneaky espresso martini or a bit of Red Bull to keep you from keeling over, but that's half the fun, innit? Now, let's talk about them winners. Los Borrachos hoisted the trophy last year. Can they go back-to-back? Seems unlikely, especially with AD back in action and still rocking half-pint calves. What about the 2023 champs, the 4 Horsemen, you ask? They're starting at +2, 5 shots behind 13th, and a whopping 26 behind the leaders. That's deeper in the hole than the Poms at the Gabba on Day 1 of the Ashes, mate. If they pull off a comeback, I'll dead set eat my hat. Put your money where your gob is. What's the winning score going to be? I reckon we're looking at about -15 after 2 days. Might even push -16 if someone has a day out, like a T20 cricket side in the death overs. But you never know with these Muppets. If one mob tears up Day 1, the rest will be chasing tail like a dog at a barbie. Could be another playoff, which is always more drama than a footy grand final that drags into extra time. Now, if we're talking who actually takes the bickies, here's my 2 cents. There's a team called Broing Low. They're rocking 3 decent blokes, plus the best player in the field. Absolute gun by all accounts, but it's their first BrOpen, so I'm guessing they'll be keen to keep the invite for next year. You can't go waltzing in and pinch the trophy in your debut without ruffling a few feathers, right? So maybe they'll settle for a podium spot, cop the hush-hush congratulatory slab of VB, and set themselves up nicely for a big run next year. Me real tip though, just the tips. They sit in the middle of the pack. good synergy, no dead weights to fumble those must-use drives, and they're hungry as a footy player after a 4-quarter slog. Their chemistry might be the difference under pressure. If the scoreboard's tight, I reckon they'll stick their heads over the ball like a courageous halfback in an AFL scrum. So if you're having a punt, that's where I'd whack me hard-earned. Just the tips for the W, maybe by a shot or two at -15. Or we get a real barn burner playoff. Either way, strap yourselves in, mates. Finally, the big one. Will the Americans finally put their wedges where their mouths are and take out the BrOpen? Look, if I had $1 for every time some seppo reckoned this is their year, I'd own half of Ripper GC by now. They talk a big game, but I've seen more killer instinct in a U12 S footy match. Maybe this is their year, or maybe they'll just fair dinkum crumble when it counts. My bet, crikey, these Trump tariffs are making the Yankee dollar weaker than a baby giraffe at a rodeo, and the Americans look even shakier, mate. All right, your mob of golf tragics, that's your BrOpen 2025 primer, full of carnage, controversy, and the kind of banter that'll keep your esky stocked with frothies all weekend long. Shout out to Clubhousen. If you're not on it, you're about as useful as a broken cricket bat in the Big Bash. So get amongst it, have a cold VB, and keep your eyes peeled for who's going to snag the big trophy. Catch you later, you bunch of legends. And remember, if you're not getting stuck in, you're wasting good daylight.